a closer look at community action, floral arrangements and wreaths for the holidays, and some hints for the homemakers. All that and more is coming right up, and I hope you'll stay tuned.
Providing entertainment for over 25 years, WALA-TV presents a tradition in Mobile, the Dot Moore Show. Once again, Dot Moore.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're very glad you're there. And today, we'll learn more about community action and a new program and some other details. Also, we will show you some beautiful wreaths for the holidays and some pretty ways to decorate the house. All of that coming up, but right now, our feature fashion on location. You're looking at one of the boats moored at the waterfront near Royal Street in the Port City. And today we are visiting the Convention Center, which gives Mobile a beautiful view of its waterfront. And also, Cooper Park can be seen from the terrace where we're standing. And there are now plans to even elongate the park and wrap it yet around another area. Mobile is justly proud of its convention center. It's a busy place, an interesting building, and we are very happy to be here on a beautiful day in Mobile. And our feature fashion is a knit that has the right weight for any season at all. A cross design on the overblouse and gold buttons down the front in a gorgeous shade of green. It's really a non-seasonal dress. And our fashion is courtesy of Holiday on Shell Road in Spring Hill. Well, when the debts keep piling up, many Americans think that declaring bankruptcy is the way to go and the only way. However, in this report, we learn there are many alternatives to that plan.
Are you worried about debt problems and thinking about filing for bankruptcy? Then stop and think twice. While bankruptcy may seem like a quick fix, it leaves a mark on your credit record for up to 10 years. You can expect long-lasting problems, from an inability to get credit from some lenders to difficulties finding employment or renting an apartment. Many people declare bankruptcy because they don't know where else to turn, or they were lured by ads for a quick fix without thinking about the long-term impact of filing bankruptcy. You do have choices, like working out a repayment plan with creditors or a nonprofit credit counseling agency. Don't file for bankruptcy without knowing the legal and financial impact on your future. For a free brochure on bankruptcy, call the American Financial Services Association Education Foundation at 1-888-400-2233 or visit www.afsaef.org.
The American Furniture Association has some wonderful ideas on helping you when you plan to redecorate the home that you're already in. And here are what some of those ideas are.
A new home at the old address. A recent survey shows that 1 of every 2 Americans plans to redecorate. To show that a home makeover can be done with ease and imagination, author and spokeswoman for the American Furniture Manufacturers Association, Catherine Bailey Dunn, offers these simple steps.
I start with the visual success, and what that means is really making a wish list, thinking about the things that are important to you in your home and how you want to get those things.
Next, do some research. Look through decorating books and magazines and make a file of what you like.
You've done your homework now. Take all that information to your retailer and have a good time doing it.
You don't have to furnish the entire house at once. Start with 1 room at a time. Finally, don't forget to accessorize. Details like lamps, vases, area rugs, and picture frames add that final touch.
Welcome back. The Community Action Agency has a newly acquired program, and here today to discuss it and many other factions about the agency is Cassandra Boykin, who is Executive Director, And we're very glad to welcome you.
Thank you.
Yes, so you have a new program, and we're going to get into some detail about that. But first of all, let's talk about how many counties the agency embraces and what they are.
The Community Action Agency operates out of 5 counties. Those counties are Baldwin, Escambia, Clark, Monroe, and Conecuh.
And it all operates through a central office?
Our central office is located in Daphne, Alabama at 1615 6th Street.
I see. Well, we hear a lot about it, but today maybe we can explain some of the questions other people have about exactly what the agency is all about and some of the things that it serves that we didn't know about.
Sure.
But this newly acquired program that you have, I understand you received a grant for it, and it has to do with pre-kindergarten. Talk about that a bit.
That's absolutely correct, and we were very excited when we received notice of the grant award from the Office of School Readiness. It's Governor Siegelman's special project, and we were granted $75,000 to operate a pre-kindergarten program in Clark County, which is one of the counties that we service. Our school is going to be located in Coffeyville. In Clark
About
County.
how many children will that give service to?
Well, 18 children will be serviced through the pre-K program and their families as well. And we're very excited about it because this is an area where it has been very difficult for them to get to some of the other services or Head Start programs operated through our agency.
They have to drive miles and miles, huh?
A long way to get to even one of our Head Start centers. So,
But we say pre-kindergarten, but what actually is the age limit? I mean, what age do they have to be up to?
well, we're gearing in on 4-year-olds, and some of them can be 5 by a specific date and time. And the program is designed to assist on a first-come, first-served basis. We've already gotten started, and we want to continue to maintain a waiting list.
Coffeyville. Let's see. That's not very far from Mobile, is it?
Coffeyville is probably about an hour and a half from Mobile.
Is it?
Yes. It's on Highway 84 West, and we're located in the Coffeyville Elementary School. We were very excited about that as well because the school system has worked very well with us in helping us to get this project going.
Well, of course, people who live in a rural location would not have access to what people that live in a city, a large
exactly
city.
Right.
Yes, I
That's
can
right.
see that. Well, that's wonderful. What was the grant?
The grant was $75,000,
Ooh.
and we're hoping to do an excellent job with this project, not just for the sake of having it again next year, but to assure that those children are served again next year.
That's wonderful, yes. Otherwise, it really must have been quite a thing for parents.
Parents were very excited, inasmuch that there were only 22 of these grants awarded in the state of Alabama.
You know, one of the things about community action that I remember more than any, I don't know why, is that you embrace Head Start.
Head Start.
I think it's been there a long time. Is it still quite active?
Head Start is very active. We currently have 7 centers within our 5 counties, and we're getting another center in this same Coffeyville area. That's just how much the need was for educational services at an early age in that area.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it had quite a bit of publicity at one time. Maybe that's why people are more conscious of that particular facet of what you do. We're going to pop up a telephone number while we're talking where people can call if they want to get more information about the agency. You have many services that your agency embraces. And talk to me about some of the main services that you give to the counties.
Well, our mission is to assist low-income, elderly, and physically disadvantaged families to become self-sufficient through results-oriented programs. Our programs extend to helping people with their energy bills, Head Start, also training programs and developing an outcome so that people can really realize that they are making a difference in our society.
Well, I imagine it takes quite a bit of funding. You are incidentally an United Way agency, are you not?
We are a United Way agency, and we're very proud of that.
But what about your funding sources? I mean, donations for one thing? I don't know.
We welcome donations at all times, locally especially, because our fundings are basically federal and state level fundings, and they are earmarked for specific activities. So anytime that we can receive local initiatives, it's greatly appreciated, and we can do more with what we have.
Well, you have also, you touched briefly on Project Share, which I'm sure is utilized by many people.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Well, Project Share is a partnership program that we have with the Red Cross. And what it does as well is to help elderly and physically challenged families with their utility bills. So it's a wonderful program, and we acknowledge it as well because of the partnership level that it offers us with other organizations such as ours.
Well, that's wonderful. It really is. Oh, well, we're about out of time, but before we came on camera, you told me that you had a special objective. What is that?
We want to make sure that our community understands what it is that Community Action does. And in doing so, we want to continue to provide, through our services, an outcome that explains that the money that we're using to help our families is not only benefiting the families, but also touching the communities that these families live in.
Well, keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Yes, and I think it's wonderful about the new grant because there are many little ones that wouldn't have that opportunity otherwise.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you, Cassandra. We'll be back after this. Stay with us. And Lene Cleveland Denson is here from Cleveland Florist, and we promised you some wonderful ideas for the holidays.
Right.
Oh, you have a great selection here.
We've got some different things, don't I, Dot? It may not be the traditional thing you expected, but I've done some different stuff. One thing I love this time of the year is fruit.
Yeah.
And so I started off, I did a lot of vases that you can, like this has plums and kumquats. You could either put a floating candle in here, or you could put fresh flowers sticking in here, or you could just leave the vase just like this and it'd last for a week or two, and it just gives you some color maybe to an empty vase that you may have sitting around the house.
Yeah, yes. Now that would be, it could be a centerpiece, or it could be a coffee table, or a
Right, they
side
work great.
table.
In this center, when we put the floating candles, you can also put those in the fruit. I'm going to slide this one out and put this one forward so they can see.
Ooh, that's a biggie. It has cranberries.
The color in this one's gorgeous. And I want to tell you, this one, I did it Saturday. So it's already been sitting around since Saturday, so you realize that you can change the water. It's just, the fruit lasts just like it would in a fruit bowl on your table. So I put limes, kumquats. You can buy the kumquats with the leaves on them, and that gives it a little bit of a different look. And you can still eat it because it's just in the water. Now, cranberries like to float, so you have to layer them in layers to make them stay down in the water.
Rising up.
They'll keep, if you just throw it all in, they'll rise, and the heavier fruit will sink to the bottom. But just this pretty jar of fruit, you could do this. You could put a container on the top and put a flower arrangement, or you could just leave it plain or put the floating candles. It's just something a little bit different.
And cranberries really, it says hello to the season.
Exactly. Right. And the limes and the cranberries, I use that a lot in the bottom of one of these containers, and then maybe put stargazer lilies in the top.
Yeah.
It gives it something with a little bit of different color, and it really screams Christmas with the red and green.
Well, now this is an interesting idea.
This container sort of leans to the side, and it'll change according to the weight. But what we've done, instead of putting flowers out of the vase, we've laid them in there. And I'm going to pull one of the calla lilies out to show you, too, that if you want a calla lily stem to bend, all you have to do is press against the back side of it, and it'll make it, you can make it turn any direction you want. And see, it'll bend. So if you want it to stand straight up, you would push the other side. You're just pushing the water out of the veins.
It's very cooperative, isn't it?
Yeah. That's what you want it to. Anyway, and you can just lay it in a vase or make it do whatever. But this is just an interesting look. This would be great on a coffee table if you're having a party. You could put some iridescent marbles and jazz it up a little bit. But it's just something a little bit different.
Good.
I'm going to talk, too, about the Christmas cactus, if we can just mention it. This particular Christmas cactus is in more of an orangey red color. It was grown in California, but it's gorgeous. You were telling me you've never seen them this big.
Never seen one that full. I really haven't. It's gorgeous.
Well, at the shop, I've brought them in for the last probably 8 to 10 years, and we get them in California. But people ask me all the time, how do you take care of a Christmas cactus? So that's why I thought we'd talk about that for just a second. I tell them, don't do anything. Put it out in your flower bed in the summer. Let the rainwater get it. Let it get plenty of sun, and don't bring it back in your house until it's
just let Mother Nature take over.
It works every time. Trust me. All my friends always come back to me and tell me.
Wonderful.
Well, we've done more fruit here where I did. These are red dogwood branches, which you said you've never seen either. They came from Oregon. And you could do curly willow, you could do just branches, you could put flowers, but this is just something else. This is just the kumquats with the leaves, and that's just in a different shaped vase. So I'm going to push all that aside, and then we're going to talk about some fresh flowers.
Okay. Now,
I'm going to show what I've done here is all I've done is I've taken some Oasis in the bottom of a coffee mug.
Yeah.
And I've taken several carnations. I'm just going to show you.
I made one huge carnation.
And all I did was take a little piece of wire and tape it together. Anybody can do this. Carnations are very inexpensive and they'll last about a month. And I've just stuck it down into the coffee mug in a little piece of floral foam.
And it's in a little mug.
It's in a little, and it comes with a spoon, and you can put your favorite spoon. You can put candy canes. It's something real cute. Sit on a desk. It's a great little gift. And it's something that you could make yourself if you want.
Well, now you brought along a wreath too, and we're going to kind of clear the way out here.
Okay.
A little bit, because I think you're going to work with that next. Here we go. I love that huge carnation.
Well, this is a fresh wreath, and it comes from Oregon, and it has all the different firs and cedars. This yellow is an incense cedar. It's a different type of cedar.
It smells great.
Doesn't it? It smells like a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
This is the blue juniper. It has the little blueberries on it. We've got the noble fir, and we've got silver fir. So it's got a combination of a lot of different firs that we don't see in our area, so it's a little bit different. And I'm also going to show you how to make a quick bow.
Well, we have a couple of minutes here.
Okay. And then we're going to do a boxwood tree, too.
Oh, really?
If we got the time. Yeah.
Good.
Okay, when you start off, I always try to teach people around the holidays, they like to learn how to make a simple bow. There's several ways you can make it, but I start with the ribbon that's the outside ribbon on the top.
Yeah.
And I decide on the size before I get started. Don't just start making a bow or think that you want to make it so big. Plus, people make that mistake trying to make it too big.
Yeah.
They start off with big loops and it gets too floppy. So it's better to make two smaller bows and combine them than necessarily trying to make too large a bow.
Well, you know, not everyone is really good at tying bows.
It's not really as hard as it seems, though.
Yeah.
Okay, what I'm going to tell you is just gather a loop and just start sort of pinching it between your fingers. Don't get too concentrated. Don't worry too much. It's going to work out. And then you take the next loop and we flip it back and we barely catch it to make sure they're the same length. And then I'm going to put it in there. You could even do this, at this point, could be a 2-loop bow.
Oh, yeah.
And you could put a little loop around your finger in the middle.
Yeah.
And then you could just cut 2 tails. You could cut 1 tail.
Well, it makes it look fluffy.
Right. You could just have a 2-loop bow, but I'm going to go back and we're going to add to it and we're going to make 5 bows, 5 loops on each side.
Oh, really? Oh, you just keep...
I'm just going to keep making it.
And actually,
Are you a bow maker,
that will
Dot?
hold up if you use it as an outdoor front door
This
roof.
is the outdoor velvet. There is indoor velvet and outdoor velvet.
And we are out of time, just about.
Well,
but I want to thank you so much for coming because you've really added to the ideas, and they are unique.
Well, thank you, Don. Can I show my real quick here? We're going to just show them what a boxwood wreath looks like.
Okay.
This is something you can make out of boxwood and keep
pretty.
Really for the whole month. It's made on a piece of floral foam, and we've just put balls and we've added a few roses. But you could change your flowers out for the whole month, and it could last for a little small tree, perfect for apartments.
I have one at my front door about that size, and I might just do that.
That's
Thank
right.
you, and Merry Christmas.
Same to you, Don.
Okay, we'll be seeing you along the way.
Okay.
Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, since the terrorist attack on America, 52,000 reservists have been called into active duty. Reporter Lee Miller filed this comprehensive report on the subject of the war of America against terrorism.
William Braden is a father and a reservist with the United States Navy. He was recently called to active duty as part of Operation Enduring Freedom.
I'm in the military. That's what I'm here for. I serve my country, and that's what I'm here to do.
Petty Officer Braden also feels a strong sense of obligation to his family. As part of his mobilization, he was required to get his legal and personal affairs in order. It meant reviewing and updating his will and making sure that he has given his wife power of attorney so she can take action on important family matters in his absence.
After you sign the power of attorney or the will, it's kind of like you've done what you have in also the insurance for your family. You feel like you've done everything for the family now. Now I can provide for the Navy.
In addition to wills and powers of attorney, reservists may need to resolve legal matters such as terminating apartment leases, insurance and pension beneficiaries, reducing interest rates on pre-existing loans, and their rights to re-employment upon returning to civilian life.
If you could sign the bottom of each page.
Military lawyers are on the front lines, helping reservists put their legal affairs in order. But in the event of a massive mobilization like Desert Storm, volunteer civilian attorneys may be needed to help meet the vast demand for legal assistance. The American Bar Association is recruiting and training lawyers so they can stand ready to serve.
The American Bar Association is calling upon all of the lawyers in the United States to provide free legal assistance to the men and women who are being called into active duty to defend our country. We want to make sure that these men and women who may have questions about wills, leases, mortgages, obtain the legal aid that they need so that they can go about doing their job.
It's nice to see that the legal system, is helping you and some of the stress that you have as a family.
Petty Officer Braden is currently stationed in the Midwest, working in a reserve mobilization unit. While he's joined the fight against terrorism, he has peace of mind about his family. This is Lee Miller reporting.
God bless America. Thank you for joining us. Until we see you next week, I hope you stay happy.